Hey everybody, I'm Dave with Growing the Home Garden. Today I am over at our new house, which is very close to getting finished. And this year has been just kind of a crazy year. I know it's been a little while since I've actually posted a video. It's been about 2 months now. And I just haven't had a whole lot of content because I've been wanting to get things over here and moved, but for some reason things just keep taking longer and longer to get this place going. And I've kind of been in limbo. So I don't really have a whole lot of content that I've shot. They've got one video that I did on some fig cuttings that I'm still waiting on them to root before I show you. But today I just thought I'd go over to the house and show you a few of the planting beds and see if maybe you have some suggestions on what I should do with these. We told the builder not to put anything in. It is all going to be completely us doing all the landscaping. So let me flip the camera around and show you this first bed. So the first garden bed is right over here by the garage entry. Okay, it's a pretty large bed if you check that out over here. It goes all the way over there to the sidewalk. There's a little cut-in over there, and in that cut-in is where the water spigot is. So we'll need to make sure that we have some sort of hardscape on the bottom of that so that we can easily access the water. I don't want to have any kind of trouble messing around, getting around plants and things like that. Now, if you check out the front, you would typically do some sort of foundation plantings. Often that you see them in the corners. I think in this case what I'm going to do is do something here and something right there. Just those two spots. Because we've got some extra areas over here, and what I want to do is layer that so that I'll have that interest there kind of obscuring the brick a little bit and kind of shielding it and making it a little softer. But up over here I'll have something else, possibly Japanese maple maybe, but we get a ton of sun right in this location, so I'll have to think a little bit on that. And through here, eventually we'll mulch it. We'll do the planting and stuff like that first. But one thought I had was to go with something like carex, which is a native plant. There's non-native varieties of it too, but if you look, you can find a native plant and turn this almost into a tall, grassy looking area with the carex. I don't want to have a whole lot of flowers here. I'd rather focus on foliage because we don't want to attract wasps and bees right over to where people are going to be living and hanging out. We actually have a beekeeper friend of mine who has bees way over there in the corner that are nice and happy, healthy, make some delicious honey. And we'll do some stuff for them, but probably not right up here along the house area. So looking back on it from the other angle, you can see kind of how wide this area is. There's plenty of room for some stuff to go right over here. Foundation plantings to go a little closer to the house. There is some drainage coming from the gutters over to through here. You see another pipe right there, and they go under the sidewalk out over here into the yard. Now on this side of the driveway, I already know kind of what I want to do. But in this little corner, I want to have some nice big rocks and do some cool landscaping with some evergreens, maybe some rosemary, things like that. There might be a little bit of flowering stuff over there. I mean, you can't resist it sometimes. And then a couple of small areas out over here off the sidewalk. I don't want to have the entire sidewalk area covered up with plants on this side, but a couple little pocket gardens is kind of what I'm thinking in this zone. Now you can see here we've got straw everywhere. They have seeded and strawed with a rye and fescue blend, kind of a fall blend. Typically you'll do an annual rye in the fall so that you can get some nice organic matter built up. It's kind of a cover crop in a way, and it keeps things green in the wintertime. But over here on this side of the porch and this side of the stairway, we've got another planting area that we'll probably do something in. That will probably want to get cut down a little bit so it's not as visible. That is the clean out valve, or clean out line there for the septic tank, which is right in this area. So we do have to be careful of that. We can't plant right here over top of it. We'll just have to let grass grow in there. But we can go closer to the house and along the sides. And we'll probably do something like that we match from the other side area along that garage wall. Maybe a plant or two similar to that, whatever that might be. I'd like to emphasize natives as much as possible, but I've had some trouble finding good evergreen natives that will handle the full sun location. I can find things like rhododendrons and azaleas, but they probably are going to get too much sunlight if I've got them over here. Now, on this side of the house is our crawl space access door, and I'm not going to go in there today, but the cool thing is this whole front porch area is like a basement. there is standing room in that crawl space area, and we're going to have some electrical put in, and I'm going to be able to do some plant shelves in there for seed starting and things like that every winter time. And it is a conditioned crawl space, so it will keep a regular temperature throughout the year. Along this area between that gutter and the crawl space door, I'm thinking of maybe some oak leaf hydrangeas, maybe some hydrangea arborescens. I've got several pots of that already started. That would be really good over here. The hydrangea, the oak leaf hydrangeas do very well in a variety of conditions. They should be able to handle the sun over here. So if I start with them and allow them to get a little large, then the arborescens can go in between, and then the other hydrangea could go down on the other side. So I think that could work very well. Over here in this corner is our air conditioner units. Obviously, we can't really do much with this spot here, so we'll probably leave it as is. One thing we do need to do is make sure that these lines come out a little farther. That's not quite where I want them to terminate, but I'm wondering if we can come up with some way to actually collect that condensation so that we could water plants with it, or if nothing else, maybe have some sort of a hose line that comes down along the planting beds that we put on this side of the house. We'll come up with something. Now over here is a unique little spot. This was sloped down. We had another vent right over in that spot there, but covered it up with brick, mostly because the entire crawl space area is a encapsulated crawl space, so you don't need those vents anymore once you've encapsulated. They're all foamed over on the inside. But you can tell here that the gutter is terminated right into the ground. There's a bottom piece for that too. It's just not on right now. And you can tell though that we had a recent rain and it's washed some stuff down here. So we already know we're going to have to contend with a little bit of a drainage issue on this small slope. So we'll put some sort of planting bed in here. It'll get plenty of water off of that gutter. Have to come up with some ideas for that. So if you have some suggestions, drop something in the comments. And then we opted to have a stamped patio put in over here instead of just a basic patio. It's a little dirty, needs cleaned off because it's got a lot of the dirt from the grading happening on it right now. But we've got this area here for probably a grill will go over on one side, and some chairs and something over here, and then that'll all be screened in eventually. So that's the backyard. Over here to the middle, I definitely want to do a fire pit. You can see those big chunky rocks over there, and they're going to create the main fire pit area, and then we'll have to come up with some sort of a walkway between here and there. But we got to make sure that we don't mess too much with how this is graded here, because it's taking the water down and around into the back. And here's the back side of the garage over here. That's where the kitchen is, and that's what we call a keeping room, gathering room. There's a fireplace in it and kind of a little vaulted area. So we'd like to do something over here, probably more oak leaf hydrangeas or something like that. We've got to be careful of some things when we're planting because there are some lines that come through. This is the propane gas line that comes from there straight back to where that green lid is, right next to that sand pit on the left-hand side of it. You see that big pile of rock. We can use that for some of the pathways and garden beds. But we also have an electrical line, and that electrical line took a really kind of curvy path to get over here. So it's like right here, and then it comes through and goes around where that straw area is, between the bees and the persimmon tree, back around to where that pole is. So we went aerial for a lot of it over till we got to the pole, and then underground from there on over. So this area is pretty much going to have to just be grass or left alone because we can't do anything over an electrical line or over a gas line. Got to be real careful with that. This is also where our internet will need to come through from that line. Hopefully they can dig underground, come along the same path, because the electrical is much deeper than their line would be, and that's where it's supposed to come in the house at. So, and here we are back again on the garage side. We are just a couple days away from having the garage doors put on, so we're excited about that. We've got a 3-car garage. That'll be the workbench area. Probably some plants and stuff will be happening in here too. You know, we just got to do plants all over the place. That's what gardeners do. So, and over there on that side, on the other side of the dumpster, is where I want to put the vegetable garden. and we'll see. I'm not sure the exact configuration with it. I might just do something kind of hodgepodge the first year, kind of get a feel for the property, how the light and everything goes, and then eventually change that to what I hope to be our permanent vegetable garden. So there you have it. That's the property right now as it is. If you have some ideas that you could give me as far as certain plants you love, that would be great for foundation plantings, plants that go along a house really well, native plants that you just can't live without. I'm definitely open to suggestions right now. We're in the process of starting with a blank slate, and this is sure to be a lot of fun for us. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe, and I really can't wait to get over here and get started. Catch you next time.